Hey everyone, welcome to the new series where I build live here in GoHighLevel. We're going to build different snapshots in this series and you can follow along and build this in your GoHighLevel. Today on build number 1, we're going to jump right in. We're going to build a system for real estate agents for buyer and seller lead nurture system. What we're going to build is a complete buyer and seller lead follow-up system for real estate agents that captures leads, responds instantly, and nurtures them long-term and books calls or showings automatically. This system is designed to work even when the agent is busy, inconsistent, or misses calls. So in this video, I'm going to build a real business system from scratch using GoHighLevel and AI. If you've already got GoHighLevel, you can follow along step by step and build this as we go. If you don't have it yet and you want to try it, there's a free 14-day link down below in the comments. I do earn a small commission if you keep it after the trial, but you don't need to buy anything to get value from this video. I'm also going to use AI to think through the build with me in ChatGPT. I'm going to show you how to prompt it, where it helps, where it gets things wrong, and how to correct it so that you're not blindly trusting outputs. If today's build would help your business, you're welcome to build it along with me in your own GoHighLevel account, or you can use the trial link below to build it from scratch. And if you'd rather skip the build time and learning curve just for the sake of today's system, for your business, you can contact me below. And you can register for the awesome system and you can get done for you services and we'll hook you up. Just tell us which build you want, we'll get you all set up. Now let's jump into today's build. So first things first, if I scroll down real quick, define the business on here, who this is for. This is for solo real estate agents, small teams and broker groups, agents that are running paid ads and portal leads, agents who want better follow-up and referrals. And who this is not for is agents with zero leads, agents who refuse to follow up, large brokerages using enterprise CRMs, and we're going to go ahead and get you making money with buyer and seller commission kind of things, referral deals from nurtured contracts, reactivating old leads months later. Now, why most agents fail is simple. There's slow response time, manual texting and emailing, no follow-up past day one. There's no visibility into where the leads are stuck. We're going to fix that for you today. So, first things first, I already did a little bit and I kind of prompted through on this. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the first prompt on here. Thinking through the system with AI. I use ChatGPT for this. Some people are swearing by Gemini 3 these days. You can use DeepSeek. There's many different AI systems that you could follow along with this for. But today, for the sake of the demo, I'm going to be doing ChatGPT. I'm using 5.2 if it matters to anybody out there. So, the business flow prompt, we're going to act as real estate operations consultant. We're going to design a simple but effective lead follow-up system. We're going to put a space right there because ChatGPT got my stuff all jumbled up, and we're going to correct right there as well. See, this is the thing about AI is it's not perfect yet. People think they can go in and just tell it what to do, but it still needs a bit of love to go ahead and make things happen. So we're going to go ahead and just correct all of our spaces really quick, and the generic thing that it gave us, it as a step-by-step workflow. There you go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just copy this real quick, just like so. We're going to copy that. I'm going to pop over into ChatGPT. So if you've never seen ChatGPT before, it's pretty simple. You get a prompt box on here. It says ready when you are. So we're just going to pop this in. And there it is. Okay, so we're going to fire away and see what it says. So right here, ChatGPT is thinking about this. It's becoming a real estate operations consultant. It's trying to go ahead and capture everything it needs for a system on here to go ahead and make this work. And it's going to try to keep it for a real estate operations consultant. It does take a minute to go ahead and think through sometimes. You can, in the newer versions, click on answer now if you want, but I usually let it think through because it has time for logic deduction on there to go ahead and give you the best prompts on 5.2 at least. That's my experience in working with it so far. If you got a different opinion, feel free to go ahead and leave me a thing below. And that's one thing with ChatGPT, like you saw on here as well, is it sometimes hangs because the memory in the browser version is not the best, is what I'd give you a recommendation on. A separate app that you download on your tablet, your phone, or something works great. On a browser, it sometimes hangs. So anyways, here's the result on here. It says, here's a simple solo agent realistic lead follow-up system that still works when you're busy or inconsistent. It's built around instant response and simple qualification, automated nurture, and easy booking, periodic reactivation. And it's still going on there, so we're just going to give it that. So setup once, pick your hub, one system, CRM that can do forms, all that good stuff. We're going to do that and go high level. 2, create 2 lead entry points. We're going to go ahead and create a form. We're going to go ahead and create a several lead form on there as well. Create 2 calendars. We're just going to give that time to think on there as well. We're going to do one for a 15-minute quick call. We're going to do one for a 45-minute consult showing plan, kind of thing for serious leads. We're going to create one pipeline that's going to be all these different stages on here for new lead, contacted, engaged, appointment set, active client, under contract, closed, and nurture. So we're going to let ChatGPT run, and we're going to jump over to GoHighLevel. And so first things first, we're going to go ahead and create these forms. So I already have a little bit of this over here, and we're going to go ahead and create our pipeline first in GoHighLevel. So over here, if I jump into GHL, this is what it looks like. If you've never seen GHL before, GHL is completely awesome. And it has everything that you need to run your real estate business or another business and then some. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. To create a pipeline, what we want to do is we want to jump into the system where it says opportunities. So if I click right here on opportunities, it's going to load up to the section that has our pipeline. Now, by default, the GoHighLevel folks set up generic pipelines on here, and it doesn't necessarily work for everybody. There is a little bit of setup that you have to do to go ahead and get this tuned for what kind of business that you're working with. And so as this is loading up on here, you can see in the main pipeline on here, I've got new lead, contacted in conversation, estimate proposal sent, follow-up, and one by default. To switch this stuff on here, I go right up here to pipelines. I'm just going to click on pipelines, and it's going to load up at hamster speed with my internet today. I'm going to click over here to edit my pipeline. So just click on a little pencil icon next to your main pipeline. It's going to give me all the different stages. Now, if you recall, over here on this side, we're going to go ahead and do our first one as new lead. Our second one is contacted. Third one is appointment set. Let's remember those really quick. So we're going to go over here, new lead. That's awesome. Contacted / in conversation. We can edit this really quickly. So we're just going to take out the in conversation part. And we're just going to enter to go ahead and save. And then if we go back over here again, appointment set is our third one. So we're going to come back over here. And we're going to do a quick select all. There we go, appointment set. And next one is active buyer or seller. We can just copy and paste these, which would make life so much simpler. You don't have to get carpal tunnel for anything technically. Okay, active buyer or seller. And then if we go back over here, closed, nurture, or lost. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go over here. We're going to do a quick select all. And right here we said nurture or lost. Okay. So I'm just going to do a quick select all. Alrighty, there we go. So now we have our pipeline all set where it comes in through a flow of what standard practices for most real estate agents out there. If you have a different stage that you want to add to this so that you can go ahead and keep track of, like, say, for example, contacted by email instead of contacted by text or something like that, you can simply come over here and click on Add Stage. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and simply save this pipeline. Okay, so it says pipeline has been updated, and we're going to pop back over here. We're going to wait for the hamster to go ahead and catch up with me today, and we're going to go back over to opportunities. Okay, so now you see right here there's new lead, contacted, appointment set, active buyer or seller, closed, nurture, or lost. I'm just scrolling through left to right with my mouse to go ahead and go through these because depending on the size of the browser screen, they might show up off screen, as you can see right there. If you have pre-existing stuff from other CRMs, you may be able to go ahead and import a CSV right here, but for today, I'm going to keep it simple. If you want to go ahead and add something to your pipeline, you can go to your CRM and you can add a contact and you can go ahead and tell it to be a new lead and all that stuff. We'll get into that in further demos down the road here on my channel. But for today, we're going to finish building the system. So we're going to go back over here and check. Pipeline is all set. We've got all that set up on there. So follow-up is a big thing with real estate because you want to be able to go ahead and catch up with anybody that needs things in your business on there. So I'm going to go ahead and just really quickly put the spaces in here because ChatGPT, like I said, sometimes gets it wrong. You got to make sure to clean up on all your AI stuff because it's not human is what I'm going to tell you. All right, so follow-up logic prompt. This is going to be what we call an automation in GHL. And there's a way that I'm going to show you to do this so you can think through it. And I'm going to give you my thought process because if you're new to GHL, this will help you. And then I'm going to show you also a way that you can do it in ChatGPT, and you can have it make a prompt for GHL's prompts on there because there's an AI within GHL that can do this as well. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and just copy this really quick. I'm going to go back over to ChatGPT, and it finally caught up on here. So we went through. We're going to have to create our forms. We're going to have to create our calendars, but we've already done our pipelines. That's all good. Lead tags on here. We'll create tags in just a moment as well. That's all good because that's helpful to go ahead and sort out things in your CRM later. For a lead capture workflow on here, it says when a lead comes in from any source, the CRM creates contact, tags buyer or seller, puts them in the new lead stage. Yep, that's a good thing to do. Number 2, instant speed to lead response, 60 seconds. Yeah, we're going to send them an SMS, all that good stuff, because we want to be like, hey, if you want to go ahead and hook up with me to go ahead and get an apartment or a house or something like that, then I'm available. I'm not ignoring you. That's what we say. All right. So we're going to go ahead and discern on here what kinds of prompts that we need to go ahead and create our automations for this. So first things first, I'm going to show you the way I was doing to make you think through it on there, and I'm going to show you a different way to do it on there so that you can use GHL to go ahead and do this as well. So we're going to post in what I've come up with on here, create a follow-up plan for real estate leads using SMS and email. And we're going to see what ChatGPT gives us real quick. I'm going to point out the pitfalls on this as well because, like I say, AI, you need a human thinker yet to go ahead and go through all this stuff. Maybe in 5-10 years we'll be on board where we got the Terminator chasing us, trying to do our marketing for our businesses and stuff. But, in the meantime, we'll still think through it as humans. So below is a clean human non-spamming follow-up plan that works for solo real estate agents. You can copy this as is most into any CRM on here. So real estate follow-up plan, SMS and email, SMS send immediately. Yeah, so there's a quick text and an email as I mentioned. First 7 days on here. Yeah. Okay, day 4. Yeah. Day 7. Yeah. And then a 30 to 90 day nurture plan on here because like what it'll do is it'll send out the different SMSs and emails in the different days that it says. And then after that, if somebody doesn't reply by day 7, it's usually a good thing in any type of real estate business or other businesses as well to go ahead and put people on the nurture so that they remember you and they don't forget about you and all that good stuff. So 90 day plus, it gives us a plan on that. So it did a really good job on here coming up with this. And you can go over here. Let me just show you this real quick. If I go back over to GoHighLevel and I go into my automation section, automations are where it does tasks for you, and you can go ahead and get it to do various things that help your business so that it saves you time. Time is a big factor, especially in any business for that matter, because, you want more time and you want more business, but you don't always have time to do everything that you want, is what I'll say. And so when I go into my automation section over here, it says this little thing, AI Builder is enabled. We're just going to say got it. Now, I already have some of the things built out for what we call the awesome system that I do. This is the done for you service on here. But I'm going to show you how to build these so that you can follow along and build this in your GoHighLevel. Again, if you don't have GoHighLevel, you can get it on my link below. I appreciate it. It helps me out and it helps you out. You get a 14-day trial just by signing up with that link on there so you can check it out, see if it works for your business. And again, if you want all this stuff done for you, just to hook it up and go, we can help you out with that as well. Just get in touch. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a workflow for starters on here. And I'm going to go ahead and tell it to build using AI. Because it could do this thing start from scratch, but that's like reinventing the wheel, so to speak. And sometimes you get lost and the math doesn't add up and all that good stuff. But I'm going to show you how to do it with AI for the sake of this video in here. So it says, what do you want to automate? Well, how are we going to get our prompt? We're going to go back over here and go to ChatGPT. And I'm going to go ahead and come down here and I'm going to prompt it to say, write me a prompt for GHL AI if I could spell today. Okay, so we're going to say write me a prompt for GHL AI to create the workflow for the build system. Create any other prompts needed after I create this workflow so that also that are needed for this business. Sorry, I stumbled. I need more coffee today. So we're going to go ahead and fire away. We're going to let ChatGPT do its thing for just a moment. And it is thinking. There we go. What this is going to do is it's going to give me a prompt on here that I can put over into the GHL AI. And you're going to see magic happen where it just magically creates all this stuff that's going to look like a flow chart. If anybody remembers back in school, flow charts, yeah, they were awesome. But this one's going to be how you can automate it for your business, and you can do this really quickly and easily. Okay, so right here, it's still going on here, but you can see there's already a master prompt that's been started. And the master prompt on here, we're just going to go ahead and copy this one first, and we're going to create our first workflow. And so we're going to go ahead and copy from where it says create a complete real estate follow-up. And we're just going to scroll down a little bit. And it's loading, loading, loading. Okay, I'm going to scroll down and see where it got to. Okay, so you see it already copied way more than I wanted it to. So I'm just going to copy that onto my clipboard really quick. And I'm going to go back over to my document over here. And I'm just going to put it over here where I can work with it. Always keep some form of notepad open when you're doing a build as a quick tip, because you never know when you're going to have to copy and paste stuff really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and just let that go for just a moment. And we're going to scroll down here. We're going to create the end of the output. And we're going to scroll up here. This should work a little bit better. Okay. So there it is. Let's go ahead and copy that. And we're going to go back over here to GoHighLevel. And it's waiting for a prompt. So I'm just going to paste this in. And we're going to push the magic go button. So it's going to take just a moment to go ahead and go through and create the prompt. And you're going to see the magic happen on screen as fast as the hamsters in the internet wheel can keep up. And what it's going to do is, like I said, it's going to create a follow-up plan for any of your clients that are going to come into your business. That's really awesome because there's times that you're out in the field or you're on a showing or something like that in real estate especially. We'll go ahead and we'll say auto save now. That's cool. But there's times that you're in the field and you're out on a showing or you're working on something else and you just can't answer the phone. And so having a 24/7 assistant like this in your pocket, literally, because there's an app for this that we have, like GHL can do this for you if you have GHL already, or you can get GHL on my link, or you can get the awesome system. What that'll do is make you always able to answer the phone. And what happens if you actually talk to somebody first versus like another real estate agent talking to them first is you get the sale. And what happens when you get the sale? You get more money. Simple as that. So that's awesome. So it says generating our workflow, creating a complete real estate lead follow-up workflow using SMS and email for a solo real estate agent and all the requirements that we put in on here. You can see in here in the GHL AI, it's just going to go ahead and have like a little chat window, just like what ChatGPT does pretty much on there. This, if I'm not mistaken, in GHL uses an older version of ChatGPT to go ahead and do the prompt on there, so it's good. So we're just waiting for it to do it. This might take a minute, so this might be a point in the video where you pause and you go and get a cup of coffee and you come back and you replay this a couple of times because this thing's going to produce some magic on here for you. I would order pizza personally if it was me because it's about lunchtime right here as I'm recording this video today. I would order a pizza and a cup of coffee and keep going on these videos. And I'll tell you real quick while this thing's generating our workflow on here too. One big thing in GHL is when you create workflows, always go up here and name your workflow. Keep track of them and even clean them up in like folders and stuff because there's nothing worse than when you build 100-something workflows that you may need for your business and you can't find the one you're looking for to make an update or to make something new or to change verbiage on SMSs or like emails and stuff like that. So organization is your best friend when you're starting out with these builds on here. This doesn't matter if you're starting out, if you're a builder in GHL, or if you're a real estate agent that's following along today. Whomever you are, just big tip, professional tip, just make sure you organize your workflow. And while I'm doing this as well, while it's generating on here, let me point out a couple of things in here. And so workflows are really powerful in GHL. You can go through here and you can name it up here. You can test your workflow once you build it out on here. We're going to have to enable a couple things, so like SMS and some other things in here. This right now, it's in draft status on here, which means it's not live yet. But if I toggle this to the publish button on here, it's going to go live. And it's going to go ahead and make everything available, and it's going to be awesome. This also, as you saw when I come in here to the workflow, it said auto save. GHL does that where you can auto save and manually save. Autosave is handy because if you make a change and then you step away for that pizza and coffee as I was talking about, it'll allow you to go ahead and save everything that you've done just so you don't do an entire workflow and then all of a sudden like your computer goes to sleep or like, I don't know, like the power goes out or whatever and stuff and you lose all your work, hours and hours of build sometimes. We're doing it the quick way today with generating your workflow thing, but I mean, literally, I've been into builds before that took me weeks just to go ahead and do one custom build for clients before. So over here too, you can do the different things. Like you can hover over each of these and see what you're doing. Like this is the AI, this is the history, this is a little breakout box on here. There's different things on here for notes as well, or like different sticky notes you can put into builds. I like to make notes personally on mine because when you go through a build on here, it'll go ahead and it'll look messy at first. And like I said, organization is the best friend on here. So this is taking just a moment. What I would suggest on here too is you're building this. Let me just go back over here to ChatGPT as a moment. I'm going to show you the next one while we're waiting for that. So if I de-highlight this stuff on here, after the workflow is created on here, we're going to go ahead and we already created the pipeline, so we actually don't need to do that. It was just thinking ahead for what we're talking about. Create a simple tagging system. So pipeline stages, required tags. We could technically run this and have it create the tags for us and stuff, but we don't need to necessarily. The prompt 3 on here, SMS copy tone refinement on here, deliverability. This on here sound human and conversational, and I will say while you're creating workflows on this too, just make sure to review all your SMSs, all your emails, all that good stuff. Make it sound like your voice. It's not a bad thing to be human nowadays because we're only going to get more AI stuff out there, and it's not bad, but it doesn't necessarily have the human touch like that you have as a real estate agent. So make it in your own voice on there. Avoid like the sales hype stuff, like you must buy this $1 million apartment while it's doing it, or feel like one person texting another. like make it human, stay under 320 characters because nobody wants to read a book, avoid spam, trigger words, and stuff like that, which we can prompt ChatGPT for in just a moment as well. It's going to have a different prompt on here for email copy refinement, which basically that's going to go ahead and clean up all the emails that it's doing over in the build at the moment. And appointment handling, no-show recovery on here. We're going to do a separate automation for this because this is going to be like your confirmation SMS and email. Like, hey, you got an appointment tomorrow at 5 p.m. Will you be there? All that good stuff. Because this will help you to go ahead and clean up like no-shows and things like that. Just automated reminders are awesome. And this will also automatically move the lead from the appointment set status in the pipeline when booked or move back to engaged if they're no-show and all that good stuff. That's the power of GHL is it can move through the pipeline so you can always see where your potential clients are all at once. The reactivation campaign on here, this is hidden money as I'm talking about. And like I say, you can pause this at any point in the video, rewatch this as many times as you want, share it with other real estate agents, whatever you feel comfortable with. But this right here is what I call hidden money. The best opportunities that you have are already in your pocket is the thing I'll teach you. Because this creates a simple reactivation workflow for cold real estate leads that have not responded in 90 plus days. So there's one SMS asking if their plans have changed, one SMS offering to pause communication, one email reminding them that the agent is still available. This is just like tapping somebody on the shoulder like, hey, remember that apartment that you dreamed of? Are you still interested? And then they're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Life got busy, all that good stuff, you know? And then it's fail-safe task system on here. Generate a task every Monday to review new leads, engage leads, nurture leads. You can set that to text you or to email you as well. That's a good way that I like to use reminders in GHL. Task instructions should be clear and short. Include reminders if the task is not completed. So usually I do a couple reminders on mine because, like I say, life can get busy and you just forget about it. And you can go ahead and run these 7 prompts on here to go ahead and run your business. I'm going to go back over here and see how our build is doing. It's still running clearly on here. I want to show you today what this is going to look like. So we'll give it just a moment. I'm going to go over a couple other things with you as well. So over here, if I just jump out of this stuff real quick, let's go down here. So here's where we're at so far. I'm going to show you how to do a couple things while we're waiting for GoHighLevel to build on this. So we built the pipeline stages, and we can just put in our list on here. Anytime that you're doing a build on this, I call this a scrum, which is different stages of the build on here. So we're going to say done. Lead capture form fields, we have to do that yet. We're going to create a couple of forms. Core automations, we're going to go ahead and say done because I'm not going to take up all day waiting for y'all to have GHL generate that on there as well. So we're going to say done. All right. Now, a couple little things on here too. Write a short human-sounding SMS follow-up. Here's where ChatGPT made a mistake again. We're going to put our spaces in right here. Okay, there we go. And so assume the Alex name is Alex. You can put whatever name you want on the prompt in there as well. You can put your first name on there for your business. And we always want to review the prompts because, like I say, ChatGPT can make mistakes, especially when it makes these little code kind of windows on here to go ahead and do prompts. Keep each. We're going to separate that under 240 characters. Because 240 characters, like I say, people don't want to read books. So we're just going to copy this real quick. We have to review our SMS prompt for our prompt that will come up. We do have to set up our calendar as well, and the stress test the system is what we'll do before we wrap today on here as well. So I'm just going to check over here. It's just taking a minute. That's a really big prompt apparently. Oh, there it goes. Look at that. All right. So it said on here, sorry, I couldn't create a workflow for this request. An error occurred while processing your request. Please try again later. Okay. So I'm just going to type in the little box, try again. Okay. Now while that's running, I'm just going to go over to ChatGPT. And we're going to run the prompt that I was talking about to clean up the SMS stuff on here. Because you always want to refine your message for the best possible potential is what I'll teach. So we're going to go ahead and fire this away. And ChatGPT is off and running. And so it's going to go ahead and come up with the SMS follow-up stuff on here for friendly, helpful, non-salesy text messages under 240 characters each. It's going to give us an immediate first message, a follow-up if they get no reply, and a final check-in message. And so we're just waiting for ChatGPT to catch up on here. Okay, there it goes. So here are short human-sounding SMS follow-ups that feel like a person texting, not a campaign. Let's review these on here. So immediate first message on here. Hi, this is what we call a placeholder in GHL, by the way. First name is always a good one to use because this pulls from the CRM within GHL, and this automatically puts in the first name for whoever you're sending the text to on there. That's a way that you don't have to retype these, get carpal tunnel every time. So it says, hi, first name, this is Alex. I just got your request and want to make sure I help right away. Are you looking to move sooner or gathering info for now? That's a good way to engage them real quick, and then you can text them back later if they respond on that as well. Follow up with no reply. Hey, just check back in. No rush at all. Let me know if you'd like info now or if later makes more sense. And so just a helpful quick thing on there. On the final check-in message, 3 strikes you're out is the rule I always go by on these because you don't want to send like 50 text messages and kind of bug somebody to death. And depending on the state that you're in, also you want to double check all the different rules and regulations and stuff because there's different rules about that. So the third one on there, hi, I'll step back in after this. I want help if you want help down the road or have a quick question, just reply anytime. Happy to help when it's useful. Then you just usually let them go because after that, if somebody's busy, just let them be busy and they'll get back to you when they get back to you. So we're going to go over here. We're going to see what this is doing. It's still thinking on this. I'd like to run this and show you what it looks like before we wrap up today on this as well. I'm just going to review this while it's working on here, and I'm going to show you what it's going to do on here for us. So if we scroll back up top on here, it says, hi Charlie, I'm Workflow AI. Tell me what you like to automate, just like ChatGPT prompt on there. And I told it to create a complete real estate lead follow-up workflow using SMS and email for a solo real estate agent. The requirements are capture both buyer and seller leads, to respond immediately within 1 minute, follow up consistently even if the agent is busy or inconsistent, keep the tone human, conversational, and non-spammy, include a short SMS in support of email, automatically move leads through the pipeline stages that we have already set up, use tags and segment buyer versus seller and hot, warm, cold times on there. Workflow structure, we're going to do a trigger, which a new lead is created from any source. You can do this from the forms that we're going to set up. You can do this from Facebook leads. You can do this from portal imports, or you can do this manually. And then immediately send out an SMS asking a simple timeline question as we have talked about. An email confirming receipt and setting expectations because you want to make sure that the buyer knows what you can and cannot do essentially on them. And then if no reply, follow up an SMS at 10 minutes, follow up an SMS at 24 hours on there. This is for appointment stuff. If reply is received, tag the lead as buyer or seller. Tag the lead as 0 to 14 days is hot, warm 15 to 90 days, cold 90 plus days, all that good stuff on there. Now, I'm going to pause on that for just a moment because you can go ahead and read through this. I'm just going to scroll through so you can get it all. You can pause this and rewatch it as many times as you want to on there. But you can see what a good prompt takes on there is. It's going to go ahead and take a little bit of work, which thankfully we have stuff like ChatGPT to get us in the ballpark for. This will need a little bit of tweaking because it's not always perfect right off the get-go is what I'll teach you, but it's pretty much in the ballpark on here. So that all looks good on there. We're going to go over here and we're going to review this workflow. So first things first, if I close out this little AI thing over here, I'm just going to move me up just a little bit on the video. I'm going to show you what this workflow is going to look like. So we're going to scroll out just a little bit. So you can see already it's got many different little things on this flow chart that it's going to do for you. And this is where GHL is going to save you an incredible amount of time, because like building this workflow manually would take us forever and a day and then some. And so like all this stuff on here, it's already set up for everything that we've talked about in the prompt, and it's all good to go. And it says if this happens, do this. If that happens, do that kind of thing. So we got a couple little red dots on here, and that's because we don't have stuff like our calendars and our forums and all that good set up on here. So I'm going to just rename this really quick. I'm going to say real estate workflow 1. Okay. Keep it simple when you're making the names in there so that you remember what stuff is. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. And it says saved. Okay. So now that this is saving on here, we've got all this workflow set up, and we got to correct this red dot, that red dot, that red dot, and that red dot. See, what's going to happen on here is it's going to give us problems with those little red dots to fully process this and run the workflow if we don't correct those things. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in. Page unresponsive. We're going to give it just a moment. The hamster's got to get a little bit faster in the internet wheel. Okay, and it says right here, assign lead to agent. And it doesn't want to save on there because I've still got these little red dots. And I just want to show you that real quick too, because like if you hit save with a little red exclamation point or there's an error on here, it's not going to let you save the workflow and you're going to have to restart all this. So we're going to click into this assigned lead to agent. And we're going to get this to come up. Okay, so this doesn't know which agent to assign it to because we didn't give it a prompt to do that, and it can't see inside of GHL anyways. So right here, it has a little select users box, and you can see that there's no users in this account on there technically. I am an administrator on the account, and so I'm not technically a user. We're going to click on this. We're going to click on this. And I'm just going to put Charlie real quick. This isn't technically assigning a user, but this is going to assign a tag on here so that we can get that little error message to go away. In GHL, if you set up users by default when you set up your account, I'll do this in a different video. You can set up the user so that you can click on the drop down, select my name, Charlie Nabeck. I'd be the agent in this case in this build because I'm the one building it. But you can see that little red dot went away when you assign the lead to agent. So now if I go into the CRM, which I'll show you in probably a different video on this, I'll break down CRM and how to use a CRM because that's a whole video by itself. That little red dot goes away and I could save if that was the only error. So now I got to go down here because remember we saw other red dots on there and create update opportunity. There's an error right here. Create update warm opportunity. Create update. Yeah. So we got 3 other little error messages down here, which we're going to go ahead and click on. So I'm going to click on create update hot opportunity. And it's going to load up on here for me. Okay, so I got to tell it what pipeline stage, and all this stuff down here. Like if you know that your opportunity value is like $1 million per lead or whatever and stuff, you can put that in, and it's kind of helpful to go ahead and tally your stats eventually in GHL. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and put in the basics in this build today. So we're going to go to the main pipeline because that's the one that we created. The pipeline stage on here, hot lead, we're going to put them under the new lead on here because they're technically a new lead. Opportunity name, we're just going to go ahead and go over here. We're going to go contact. We're going to go contact full name because that will show me the first and last name of them. Opportunity source, this will get into like if you're doing forums versus Facebook versus Instagram versus different places. Opportunity value will be how much that value is actually worth to you, like if it's $1 million sale, if it's a $10 million sale, whatever. And then status on here, you go open, won, lost, or abandoned. At this stage on there, if they're a lead, they will technically be open. Down here, there's a lot of opportunity to move to any previous stage in the pipeline. This is the first stage, so we don't turn that on because we're not moving them backwards in the pipeline technically. And allow duplicate opportunities, I always leave that off because that way when you get somebody that fills out a form or calls in or something, you don't get like 5 versions of John Smith in your pipeline, and it becomes tricky to figure out where the information is. So we're just going to save the action down here in that case. Going to take just a moment to update. Now, while we're doing this on here, you always want to just go through one at a time, and you want to go ahead and correct all the errors until your workflow is finished up on this. So you see the red little exclamation point went away right there. We're just going to do the same thing right over here, because these are hot ones that are under 14 days. These are warm ones that are more than 14 days. And then cold ones, which are going to be long-term nurtures technically. So we're going to do main pipeline, new lead, opportunity name. You can always use the tags right here and go high level. So you can use full name, opportunity source. For now, we're just going to say open again on this to make it easy. So once you get the hang of this, you can kind of fly through it as well. On the first build, like sometimes like this is for me on my first build back in the days, just going through it, just making sure you got all your stuff exactly how it is. But the more you do this, the more it becomes easier if you're starting to build stuff and go high level. If you're building this for your business, most times you're going to build it once and you're going to be done. That's the beauty of this, is it helps you out long term. And if you build it more than once, well, some people might want to do that as well. Opportunity names. We do get a lot of people that contact us for our awesome system, which is these different builds that we make. And if you are one of those people and you'd like to go ahead and get with us, just build all this stuff out for you, and you don't want the learning curve and all that stuff, we're happy to chat with you. Just drop us an email or go ahead and go over to my website on charlienabeck.com, and you can get in touch with the office, and we'd be happy to hook you up with a build on there. So we're going to click Save Action. I do recommend trying this for anybody too. So like if you don't have GHL, you can use my link down at the bottom, and you can get a 14-day trial for free. And if you like it after that, it's not really expensive with GHL to go ahead and continue on there. They've got different packages, and you can go through and keep that long term for your business. You can do it write-offs and stuff like that. So it's all good. All right, so we're just going through and we're making sure we don't have any other little red dots in our workflow. So we're just going down. There we go. Okay, so now that we got rid of all those little red exclamation points, I can come up here. I can click on Save. It's going to take just a moment to catch up with me. Just going to scroll right back up. Okay. So the internet, I always say we need a faster hamster in the internet wheel, as I said on here, but y'all can see this on here. It just gets mind-boggling depending on the speed of the internet and stuff. I'm trialing at the moment, so it's a little bit sluggish. Okay, so once it saves, we're just going to go back. We need to save. Okay, so we're going to click on Save. And I'm not going to click 500 times again because, then it'll have a fit and I won't be able to save it. So, okay, now it threw a little error message that we didn't see real quick on there. So we're just going to go back up. And we're going to make sure that we don't have any of those little red dots. I think it's because of the form. And you'll get used to that once you go ahead and Yeah, so right up here, you can't see a red dot, but I'm going to go ahead and share with you from experience that those little red dots don't always show up. And that's the most troubleshooting in a workflow that you're going to be doing is trying to find out where everything is. So form submitted, lead source form submission, add filters. We're going to say form is, because we're telling it what form to select. And we're just going to put it as the awesome system lead form. That's with our done for you system on there. We got that all set up already on there. So we're just going to save trigger. I'll show you how to create the actual form in this video on here as well because it's really handy just to finish the build, and that way you can do it on your GHL or you can get a trial or you can contact us and all that good stuff. All right, it's going to go ahead and throw a fit for these two on here as well. So I'm just going to go in here real quick. Triggers, incoming reply. Okay, so customer replied. Okay, so we're just going to actually highlight that because when the customer replies via text message or email within GHL, you can do this with AI or you can do this with somebody that works for you. There's many different ways to do that, but when a customer replies, you can go and automate it so that they go to a different stage in the workflow. That's kind of helpful because that way you don't have to do much with it. Let me just go to filters. Let's say applied to workflow just to make it easy. And we're just going to make it on the workflow that we're working on right now. It's just not fully saved on there, but that's okay. It just gives you a long string of gibberish up there when it starts. And it's going to go ahead and use that. We're going to click Save Trigger. There we go. And then appointment status is the other one that we have to update. It technically doesn't have a calendar yet for what we're going to build today, but I'm going to put it on the awesome system calendar just to show you on this workflow side. I set up all this stuff in advance to not take up the time. So appointment status, event type is normal, appointment status is no show, select, in calendar. Okay, oh yeah, so we need a calendar real quick on this. I'm just going to do save trigger. If you have the calendar set up already, then you can just select the calendar right there. So if the calendar is called like my calendar, then that's all good to go. I'm going to try to save it real quick and see if it'll save it without a calendar. If it doesn't save without a calendar, then I'm just going to take this trigger off so that we can proceed on here. With these builds, I'm actually doing it realistically as well. I'm not trying to speed it up for you because everybody learns at a different pace. Like I say, you can repeat this video as many times as you need to build this out. Yeah, so it says wait for lead to reply. So we're going to actually go through here. Just going to delete this trigger real quick. And yes, there we go. Okay, let's see if it'll save. If not, I'm going to say you got the bulk of this where you can just add in your calendar. You could create your calendar steps first before you create this workflow, and that'll help down the long run. And maybe for future builds, I'll do that too, because that way I can save everybody a little bit of time from all this stuff on here. Okay, so it's going to say wait. If it actually saves, we're going to get a little green little box up here. 2-hour conditional wait. Okay. So there's some other troubleshooting to do on a 2-hour conditional wait. Just to teach you on here, because this is the thing about AI is it'll get all the stuff in ballpark, but there's things that you actually have to figure out on these builds on here as well. So 2-hour conditional wait. Down here there's a timeout, immediate email. There's a wait right here. So that's a keyword on there. When it throws an error that says the word wait, There's these little things in here to wait for different time increments. We're just going to see if there's anything in here that has another weight. Yeah, so there's a weight down there. And I'm going to guess that it's this one real quick because the weight above is for the reply. And so if we go into this weight real quick, let's see what this says. So wait for contact reply, reply to. This is the SMS right here. We're going to set that at 15 minutes. That's all good. I mean, in these videos too, I'm going to take you through real world troubleshooting because everybody thinks it's just magic, but that's why you work with us too if you want this done for you. Because a build, everybody's like, hey, I can just go sign up for GoHighLevel, and you can build this right with me, but you'll be troubleshooting right with me as well, and it's not a bad thing. That's how a good way to learn is what I teach you. If you just need to save time, we're happy to go ahead and work with you as well. So. All right, so that's one weight, and then there's one other weight sequence in here as well, which is right here. Okay, going this way, this has to go through the prior step on there. That's how workflows go. Yeah, so see, it doesn't have a step on here for the 2-hour workflow. So first thing on here, we're going to do a timeline question, says first SMS that it sends out. We're going to save this action, and then in theory, this workflow should save. Okay. So now we're going to hit the magic save button up here. Now wait for that hamster to catch up with us again. And as I'm doing this too, just make sure that you read through your workflow. It says like, hey, if this wait thing happens, if a contact replies, what happens when a contact replies? Well, in this case, we got conversation AI, which is a really powerful part of GHL turned on. If it's a hot lead, it does all this stuff. If it's a warm lead, it does all this stuff. If it's a cold lead, it follows a whole different set of instructions on there. And if there's no contact reply whatsoever, then it does this over here as well. That's how to read it. And you can say now that it's happy and it's satisfied with this stuff, it automatically goes through and it saves the workflow. I don't need to turn this on because we're going to save this for if anybody wants it. We sell this stuff in an awesome system is done for you as well. You can get in touch with us if you want. But I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to show you the other stuff that you need to know to set this up for your business to finish our build today. So we're going to go ahead and move me back down here. And there we go. That's loading back up all our workflow stuff. So let's go back over here while that's loading up. I'm going to show you what we have to do. So we've gone through, we've done our core automations. We can set up all the other automations which take the same amount of time and troubleshooting as the one automation I'm going to tell you. If you got faster internet, it'll be a little bit faster on there, but not by much to be honest, because you still got to troubleshoot. The lead capture form fields, I want to show you this real quick on here. So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to go over here where it says sites. And here's where all your forms live in GHL. And you can see I've already done this. I've already got an awesome system lead form set up on here, and I'm just going to go in here and show you for the sake of time today for you. Well, this is actually the funnel. I wanted to go to the form. So funnel is just basically like a website that you can go ahead and put the form on so you can put it live on the internet. And we sell that within the awesome system on there as well. Okay, so here's the lead form that I wanted. So I'm just going to click on the lead form. It's going to load up, and it's going to have all the stuff like name, telephone number, email address, all the good stuff that we need. I'm going to do better than ChatGPT because I've already set this up. I'm going to show you what I would do on this. People ask me sometimes, what would Charlie do? And I say, hey, this is your basic lead form right here, and it's pretty simple to go ahead and make a drag and drop thing to change this. First name, you can see the asterisk right here is required. If I were to click on this, you can make these required or unrequired on here. Usually I don't do this on last name because somebody might just have a quick question and they might not fill out the form if you do that. So I do that later when I get on a call with somebody to go ahead and confirm. Phone number required, email required, message, they can leave one if they want to. And this is always by default on here. This is in GoHighLevel. You can go ahead and customize this to anything to go ahead and do like legal terms, whatever, like if you contact us, we have the right to market to you, all that good stuff. So we're going to go back over here and we said first name, last name, we got those. Phone number, email, we got those. Buyer or seller, we didn't do that yet. So I'm going to show you how to add a thing to the form real quick. So we're going to do that as a little drop down kind of thing on here, like a radio button technically. And so we're going to go drag this in right here. And you can see it's really easy to add stuff. And we're just going to change the label on here. And we're going to put a question right there. There we go. And this, we're going to say not required on there necessarily. You can make it required if you want to, but just be aware the more stuff that you have people do, the less that they're going to want to do that. So, buyer and seller. Okay, so now somebody can just put a check in one of those boxes and they're good to go. And if we double check back over here on our build, price range, this is optional. You could put this in two ways. One is you could put a drop down where you can have them select certain price range like 100K to 500K, 500K to a million, whatever. Or you can just put a box in where they can type in the value. For today, I'm going to go ahead and put in a box to type in the value. So if I go over here, there's this thing called single line, which I can go ahead and drag right in here. And we call that price range. Okay, and then this is going to go ahead and give us availability for them to type something in, and they can send that to us. Now, if I go back over here, last one is timeline. You can do a drop down again on this and be like 0 to 2 months, 2 to 4 months, 4 to 8 months, whatever and stuff. Or again, you can go ahead and put in a box. I'm going to put in a box for the sake of this video today. So you can put in a single line again for this. And there it is. And we're just going to type in timeline. Okay. So now that we got all that stuff saved, we're just going to go ahead and save that out. And we're good to go with all the basics on this. Down here too, you can change submit, you can change the color of the button if you want. You can change this verbiage. You can style the form if you want to, because there's a little option over here. I'll go into depth on this, on how to do this in a different video as well. There's different themes that you can do if you want to switch it up for different themes in this. Many different things that you can do in this. But anyways, we saved this, so I'm just going to click save again and make sure I've got all my forms saved on here. Saving. Always double check your save because that way you don't lose your hard work. So now I've got all this stuff done. I'm going to come back over here and just mark it done. And we got our core automations done. We double checked our copy prompt. We got to do a calendar quick on this one as well. So the cool thing about GoHighLevel is you can add calendars in from you, for your team. You can have it just generally scheduled on one calendar if it's just you running as a solo operator as well. But you go over here to calendar view, and by default, GHL has calendars built in. And you can keep track of all your appointments right here, and then you just download the GHL app in your pocket. And this doesn't matter if you do GHL by yourself, or if you do GHL with a trial, or if you do GHL with us with the awesome system. You can still download the app, and you can do all your calendar stuff right here. Now, you can also go into the settings in GHL and sync this to like your Gmail or your Yahoo or your Outlook or whichever you do. I'll go into different modules and different videos, so if you like what you see today, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and follow along because this will get you all set up on this. I'm going to go in here real quick. I'm going to set up a simple calendar for you. I'm going to show you how it works. So by default, it has a generic calendar and it doesn't name it or anything like that. And so what we want to do is we want to do a named calendar in specific, And we just want to go ahead and set this up so that we can get it rolling for you. If you guys need help with linking any of this stuff up, if you're building this on your own as well, as I say, we do offer done-for-you services and stuff. You can just get hold of us, leave a comment with your contact information, or you can email me at charlie@charlienabeck.com, and I'm happy to speak with you and work on whatever you need for the project. Okay, so change me. This is status inactive. See, I did set up a calendar already. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to edit the calendar. Okay. And in here, there's various options, which I'm just going to go into in future videos as I'm talking about. But for today, I'm just going to activate this calendar and get it rocking for you. So availability, you want to come in here, make sure that you set your availability. You can turn on this little option right here for look busy on the calendar if you want to look like you have a couple spots filled in. Sometimes that encourages FOMO, for fear of missing out on people to book an appointment. Sometimes that doesn't work. Meeting interval, if you want to do 30-minute meetings, this is where you set that. Meeting duration, this is in between meetings technically, so like 30 minutes, 30 minutes. How long you want the meeting to actually be. Minimum scheduling notice, like if you want to do like 1 day in advance, I usually do like 1 day in advance because like last minute notifications are tough to keep up with. Date range, how far out in the future you can schedule, so like 30 days is pretty good on there because that way you know which month's doing. Maximum bookings per day, like maybe you want to do 6 showings in a day. Maximum bookings per slot, there's 1 per slot because there's going to be 1 client or 1 couple or something like that. Pre-buffer time, how long do you need before your meeting? Like usually 15 minutes is a good thing to do because that gives you a chance to get a coffee or something. And post-buffer time, 15 minutes. Because you might have drive time or something like that, depending on where you're at. This, I always go ahead and save, which it's a little bit out of the way up there. You can add your business logo up here if you want to as well. So availability, this is all set right there. Forms and payment, if you wanted to accept payment for a consultation or something, you can get into different things. I'll go into this in a future video on this. But notifications, here's where the magic happens, because you get all notifications in GoHighLevel by default, or you can turn on email, SMS, WhatsApp, all that good stuff. You can do this for cancellations, reschedules, reminders, follow-ups. You look like a rock star. Down here, allow Google to send invitation updates and stuff. That's good to do if you're using Gmail or using your Google Mail services or something like that. Rescheduling, you can go ahead and reschedule. Usually, I would recommend to do 1 day prior because that way you don't have those last minute things, those last minute cancellations. Like stuff does happen. And if they do happen to call and cancel, that's cool. But like otherwise, your game on, you're expecting a meeting on there. So like 1 day is what I usually do on most of my meetings as well. And then once you do this, just be sure to save in between stuff on here. And customizations, you can come in here and do a logo. You can do different chat or calendar widgets and stuff, which you can embed on a website. Websites will do in a completely different video as well. But right now, you can see those calendar ID up here. And this is clicked on. We're just going to save it one more time. And if I go back over here, you can see there's a lot more to GoHighLevel, which we'll be covering in future videos. So again, if you dig it, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too, but I thank you for being here because it's really cool to get to do these videos with y'all. So now when I go into meetings on this, it's going to show me all the day's meetings, which I'm going to have absolutely 0 because this is a brand new GoHighLevel setup on here. But you can see with the calendar on there, you could have clicked new on there when you go into the calendar settings as well, and that'll set you up a brand new calendar. This is just taking a minute to load back up, so I'm going to go back over to our build specs, and we're going to go ahead and say calendar is done. There we go. So now I'm going to tell you, you have all the basics on here that you need to go ahead and do this build completely. You can do this in your GoHighLevel. You can do this with GoHighLevel. If you don't have that, just grab the link down below in the first comment, the pinned comment. You can use my link. I appreciate it. I do get a small commission for helping you out with that. I appreciate all your support and stuff like that. Channel, subscribe, all that good stuff. But you have everything that you need to do buyer and seller lead nurture system. This does get into different things on here, which you can obviously do and go high level. That still says inactive, which I'd have to enable that and link it to a Google Calendar to make it active on there is what it is. But you'll see all your appointments show up right in the calendar on here as well. You can see in GHL, I'll just point out really quick, you can do all your conversations right here. You can link up stuff like your socials, you can link up your email, your text messages, all that stuff in one spot. We can get you a dedicated phone number as well for that so that you don't have to use your personal cell phone number like your office number. You can get everything in just one spot. You can forward it to other numbers, all that good stuff. Calendars as contacts, which is your CRM system, which I'll do in a different video. Pipeline opportunity stuff. You can accept payments through here if you want to and link it up with the outside payment system. You can do AI agents, which we'll do in a different video. You can do social scheduling for all your socials all at once. You can do automations as we covered today. You can do your website. You can do media storage. You can do reputation management for review. You can do reporting. We got 1,000,001 apps literally like that they're making in GoHighLevel at all times in the app marketplace. You can get the mobile app for your pocket. We do support on Awesome System if you want, or you can get in touch with us as well. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and leave them down below in the comments. I'll get as many as I can. I'm going to wrap up this video for today because it's getting a little bit long. I do appreciate you for hanging out today, and I've got a little spiel to wrap you up on here. I just want to say thank you. If you want to build this yourself, everything you need is right here in this video, and you can come back and rewatch it anytime as you finish your setup. If you're already running this type of business and don't want to build everything from scratch, I also offer this exact system that we built today inside what I call the Awesome System. I set it up custom for you and your business so that it's just ready to go right out the box. You can get a ready-to-go account with this setup already in place. I handle the initial build so you can just log in and get moving. There's two options for this. You can do monthly with us, cancel anytime. It's just $197 a month, which, hey, if you add up the cost of Starbucks coffee or something like that, you can do this and you can do better for your business. You can even write it off with your business. One sale for you will cover this 10 times over that you're going to get with all the different things that we built out today. If you want to save for your monthly on there and you don't want a monthly subscription and stuff, we do an annual package that's significantly cheaper overall at just $1,497 per year. You pay us up front, renews annually if you'd rather handle it once and not think about monthly billing. And everything is linked up below, down pinned on the first comment. There's no pressure to buy anything today. Use whatever path makes the most sense for you. I want to thank you for joining me for today's build. If this was helpful, take a moment again to subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn on the notifications for the next build. We're going to be doing a builders series here on my channel, and we're going to be doing this for the whole year of 2026. I'm going to be sharing more information about AI, different business models, and how you can use GoHighLevel. And if you know someone else who would benefit from this, please feel free to share the link with them. I appreciate it very much. I'll see you in the next build. My name's Charlie, and thank you for being here. Take care.